visited the Great Wolf Lodge every summer when I was a kid. This was my family's tradition for 10 years. But one day, the Great Wolf Lodge closed down. From what I've heard, it was getting fewer visitors over time. By then, I'd finished high school about a year prior. I was surprised when I heard the news. I couldn't imagine the Great Wolf Lodge losing business like that. At first, I didn't think much of it. But then I got a phone call from my friend Jenny. She asked me if I'd heard about why the Great Wolf Lodge closed. I confirmed and told her what I'd heard. Jenny said that that's what the former owner wanted us to think. According to Jenny, strange things happened in the Great Wolf Lodge. The owner closed the place out of fear that someone would find out. I asked Jenny what these strange things were. She admitted that she had no idea, but knew how to find out. She told me that whatever was going on happened at night. She then asked me to help her uncover the truth the following night. Normally, I wouldn't do stuff like this, but to be honest, what Jenny said kind of made sense at the time. I mean, it's hard to believe that the Great Wolf Lodge, of all places, was losing business. Anyway, I agreed to participate in Jenny's investigation. Jenny told me to meet her at the Great Wolf Lodge at 10:55 p.m. Before I left, I snuck into the basement and took my dad's gun from the safe. I didn't want to be a sitting duck should the place turn out to be a gang's hideout or something. So I drove to the Great Wolf Lodge with the gun tucked into my pants. Jenny and I parked near the building and approached the main entrance. Jenny picked the lock, and the two of us entered the Great Wolf Lodge. I asked Jenny what exactly we were looking for. She explained that the weird occurrences happened at 11 p.m. sharp. First, the lights would flicker for a few seconds. The water park would then fill itself with water, functioning precisely as it would during open hours. Those who saw the park from the outside claimed to have seen an entity roaming inside. It emitted a faint red glow and floated on the water, but due to the lack of lighting, nobody could make out any features. I checked my phone and saw that it was 10:59 p.m. Jenny grabbed my hand and dragged me to the water park. We arrived just in time to see the lights flicker. As Jenny predicted, the water soon followed. Jenny and I turned on our phone's flashlights and looked around. We were exploring the water park when I heard a splash. Apparently, Jenny wasn't watching her step and fell into the pool. I laughed as I went over to help Jenny up. As I did so, I saw something in the corner of my eye. There was a faint red glow over the deeper parts of the pool. Jenny soon noticed it too and got excited. While she was messing with her wet phone, I pointed my flashlight at the red light. A lanky, humanoid figure walked on the water as if it were solid ground. It had long, shaggy fur on its head and back, and 3 long horns on its head. When it looked at Jenny and me, we could see its giant oval-shaped eyes. The creature bared its fangs before letting out a spine-chilling roar. I noticed this weird metallic smell as its screams echoed through the water park. I shined my flashlight around until I saw the water. All of the water in the park turned into blood. I looked for Jenny but couldn't find her anywhere. She must have fled when she saw the creature. The monster leaned forward and slowly approached me. I think my heart was beating faster with every step it took towards me. I smelled rotten meat as the creature got closer. I thought I was about to pass out from shock when the monster stopped mere inches from my face. It stared me dead in the face as it sniffed me. The thing then spoke to me, though I could barely understand its hoarse voice. But I think it said something along the lines of, darkness comes to those who tread my waters. Suddenly, I felt someone grab my arm and pull me away. It took a few seconds for me to realize that it was Jenny. She ordered me to get into my car and get away from the Great Wolf Lodge. We got into our vehicles and sped off. I returned to my apartment and tried to get some sleep, but then I got a text from Jenny. She wanted to make sure that I was okay and that the monster didn't bite me or anything. I texted back saying I was okay. I told Jenny what happened and what the monster said to me. I then asked her what the thing was and what it was talking about. Jenny responded by sending me a link to a Reddit page. The page was dedicated to an urban legend surrounding the abandoned Great Wolf Lodge. There were even some photos and videos that were said to prove that the legend is true. The following is how the legend goes. About 25 years ago, the Great Wolf Lodge in my hometown used to be a family-owned hotel. It was called the Flame-Ridged Hotel and Spa. At the time this story takes place, the hotel was owned by two brothers. Their names were Clyde and Robert Flame-Ridge. Former guests claimed that the Flame-Ridge Hotel and Spa was the best in town. Its revenue grew with each passing year. That's why everyone was surprised when they learned that the place was going to become a Great Wolf Lodge. At the time, the first Great Wolf Lodge had been around for less than a year. Clyde was the one who sold the Flame-Ridge Hotel and Spa. As for his younger brother Robert, nobody knew where he was. Clyde explained that he had a falling out with Robert. Apparently, Robert was furious when Clyde told him that he was selling their hotel. The Flame-Ridged Hotel and Spa had been around since the founding of my hometown. The hotel evolved to have the best service and Clyde wanted to throw it all away. Clyde's excuse was that the Great Wolf Lodge made more money than his family's hotel at the time. He thought turning the place into another Great Wolf Lodge would make more money. Yep, Clyde destroyed his family's legacy over cash. Clyde was so greedy that he refused to listen to Robert. Robert was so furious with his brother that he never wanted to see Clyde again. He took half of the brothers' savings and moved out of town. But before leaving for good, Robert decided to take revenge on his brother. Robert studied world mythology in his free time. He was a firm believer in the supernatural. While thinking of a way to get back at his brother, Robert recalled a particular entity that would be perfect for the job. Its name was Rakumek. Rakumek was a water spirit who believed all water was his territory. If you summoned him somewhere with water, he would guard the place as if it were his own home. The only downside is that Rakumek could only appear at night. On the night before he left town, Robert made his move. He did the summoning ritual in the spa since that room held the most water. When the water started turning into blood, Robert knew that the ritual was successful. So he rushed out of the hotel, leaving Rakumek to do his work. What happened to the former Flame-Ridged Hotel and Spa was explained through the news articles posted on the Reddit page. Guests filed complaints about everything that started to go wrong for the new Great Wolf Lodge. Apart from replacing the water with blood, Rakumek has caused other calamities such as power outages and rotten food. Guests and staff members alike had also claimed to see a hideous creature roaming the Great Wolf Lodge at night. Rakumek even went as far as to physically attack some guests in their rooms. I'm not sure if Clyde or the resort's new owners realized what was happening, but the only solution management could think of was banning overnight stays. It must have worked because the Great Wolf Lodge had prospered since. Now that I think about it, My family never stayed in any of the hotel rooms. Instead, we just played in the water park for a few hours and then left. What I couldn't understand was why the Great Wolf Lodge closed despite practically solving its Rakumek problem. I pointed this out to Jenny and asked what she thought. Jenny suggested that the owner knew who Rakumek was and realized that he was the reason behind the past complaints. The owner probably thought keeping the Great Wolf Lodge open would be bad if Rakumek was there regardless. To be honest, I can't say I blame them. I hope that place gets demolished and nothing gets built over it. I'd hate to think of what would happen if someone else had the misfortune of meeting Rakumek.